This is More Than Construction, a Journey Group podcast about building community. Hello, and welcome back to More Than Construction. I'm your host, Nathan Walter, and I'm with my co-host, Aaron Ike, and two special guests that I will introduce in just a second. But today, we're continuing our series of episodes highlighting each of Journey's divisions. So far, we've highlighted Journey Construction and SFC Civil, and this episode, we're going to take a look at Blacktop Paving, our division that specializes in horizontal construction, like roads, parking lots, as well as maintenance and repair for those surfaces. So our special guests today are Ryan Kerkvliet, Vice President of Blacktop Paving, and Brad Meyer, Project Manager for Blacktop Paving. Gentlemen, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks. It's exciting.
It is. Together, we're going to discuss all things Blacktop Paving, its history, its services, and its incredible team culture, which has gained quite a bit of recognition in recent months. But first, I'd like to learn a little more about you guys before we dig into Blacktop stuff. So Ryan, let's start with you. How long have you been working at Journey Group? What brought you to Blacktop Paving? Tell us your story.
Yeah, so I've been here since 2009. I joined back then, and I actually started on the bridge side with Jared. So
Nice.
I started working for him, and I'll never forget the first day. Talked to Jared. He said, "Here's the keys to the truck. Run out to this bridge and tell him you're now in charge." So, wow, pretty interesting first day. But
you didn't dump a load of concrete in front of the bridge like Jared did the asphalt in front of the paver.
I did not, but I do have a few other stories that I don't know if I should share. But yeah, so I started with Jared, worked with him for a few years, and then the person that was managing the asphalt paving division had left, and they knew I had experience out in Colorado previous to coming here with asphalt paving, and so they offered me to, see if I wanted to take that role, and I took the opportunity. So it's been great.
Awesome. Very cool. I've been told by an anonymous source to ask how you feel about your blade operator skills.
I probably know who that was, but I feel like when I use the GPS, the automatic controls, I'm pretty good.
That's a good answer.
Freehand, maybe not so much, but no, that's funny. But I do enjoy getting in the equipment. Yeah, I grew up on a farm, and I've got a lot of equipment experience, nice. and I enjoy that. So
yeah, that's cool. Well, Brad, let's turn to you. Tell us your journey story. How did you get to where you are today?
I did a little asphalt in college and was kind of looking around for some jobs, and Journey actually had, at that time, Sioux Falls Construction had an internship for the nice. Blacktop paving side, and it was supposed to be just summer help, and I guess I did good enough where they hired me full-time after that. So been here since 2014, worked from project engineer up to project manager, and I can tell you his blade skills are a lot better than mine. I can probably outdo him in a skid. That's probably about the extent of my knowledge, but I'd say I've been bidding asphalt ever since then, so it's been fun.
Do we hear a skid challenge maybe? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm surprised you said that you could outdo me in a skid. Because,
Ryan's expressions when you said that, it looked like they aligned with your beliefs on
It's all right. I'll take one of the cats. He can have the Gale, and we'll see who does the other.
I can picture it now. We'll
2022 BTP skid off.
Yes. Oh, I like it. That's good. That's perfect. You guys obviously play very key roles in day-to-day operations at Blacktop Paving. So let's kind of move our focus there and talk about Blacktop.
Yeah, so actually Blacktop started in 1950. We were actually the first paving company in Sioux Falls.
Wow.
Yeah, back then, you basically self-performed all your work. Mm-hmm. And so Sioux Falls Construction at that time had a need for asphalt paving. And so they started doing that work. Back then, it was basically just gravel and asphalt paving.
Hence the name.
Yeah, right, hence the name. But since then, when I started, we had 8 guys. That crew would go out and grade to get ready for the asphalt, grade to gravel. And then that same crew would come behind and pave. So it's definitely evolved since then. Now we're up to we ran about 65 guys last summer. So definitely have grown things. We now have 2 grading crews. to asphalt paving crews. We're getting into concrete as well. We just started doing that. And so it's definitely evolved. It's been great. The people that we've brought on board has just allowed us to really grow. So it's been good.
That's awesome. That's very exciting.
Can you describe to us kind of that epiphany of the starting the concrete crew? Because I think it came from just seeing some inefficiencies with paving parking lots and waiting for other contractors. And then you wanted to kind of eliminate the bottleneck by kind of taking it on yourself, correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we kind of found that, in order for us to go into a parking lot and do our services, do the asphalt patching, there would be a need for the concrete to get done first, whether it was curb and gutter or a broken concrete approach or driveway. And so we would have to wait until that work was done. But the owners couldn't get concrete. It's smaller concrete jobs, and these concrete contractors were so busy they didn't want to take the time to do those small projects. So we kind of saw a need for that, which allowed us to get our work done. So we started a crew, and the demand was just there to continue to grow that side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're in very high demand from what I hear.
Yes. No, it's been great.
So they're laying concrete, pouring concrete.
Yeah. So we do concrete, curb, and gutter. The first year it was basically all hand set, smaller stuff, sidewalk, approaches, and this last year we did buy a curb and gutter machine, more mainline curb and gutter work. So we're looking to continue that this year and take that even to the next level. And so, we started doing crack sealing. Which is a maintenance. We've gotten into mastic, which is another form of asphalt maintenance.
Was that kind of another development out of necessity?
Yeah, it was. It was mostly, feedback from our customers. They wanted to kind of have a one-stop shop, somebody that they could go to instead of them lining up asphalt paving, concrete work, asphalt maintenance, crack sealing to their parking lots. They had to go out to all these different contractors to find that.
Yeah.
And so the feedback that we got is, man, if we could just come to you, you could provide that service. You could do the concrete work, the paving, the crack sealing, any maintenance we need. And so now that we provide that service, it just alleviates a lot of kind of headaches for the property managers when they're dealing with 60 some properties.
Definitely. And Brad, as a project manager, I imagine that's probably really nice to be able to have the opportunity to build these kind of long-standing relationships with some of these owners then. And
I mean, and you get these projects, you work with the same owner year to year, and you develop those expectations that every owner kind of, with this project, is it strictly a budget thing? Is it just coming down to the bottom dollar? Yeah. Well, working year to year, we know that. And maybe it's just, we really just want aesthetically, we need the best path for the customer to get from the door to their car. We had too many trip hazards. Somebody, flipped over a cart, hurt themselves, and we need to eliminate all those hazards. And you kind of come up with, kind of what the owner's looking for by working with them year to year and budgeting the same parking lots year to year. And I think right now we're up to about 130 parking lots we're looking at every year for the same owners. And it's just, now it's like, hey, we looked at this back in 18 for you. We did this maintenance, and now look how much less you're spending year to year by doing this maintenance consistently compared to that overlay that we priced for you at the beginning.
Yep.
And I mean, it's been fun working with the same people too. You get to kind of have a little bit more of a relationship with them than just, we're just pricing your parking lot.
And speaking of making it safely from your car to the door, you guys also in the wintertime do de-icing and snow removal and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we have the equipment during the summer, and we try to utilize that in the winter. So we do provide snow removal services and de-icing. We do a lot of work with Avera at the hospitals, and so it is important for those owners to make sure that there's not ice for, somebody that's maybe injured on crutches walking into the hospital.
Yeah.
It would be a bad situation if they fell. So,
definitely.
So we do that de-icing service. It's a liquid de-icer. It works great. It's fairly clean, and they're really happy with the product. So
that's fantastic. That's really cool. And very creative to keep some work going all year round. I think
right.
It really feels like you should be paving today.
Yeah, this has been crazy these last few weeks. It's been beautiful. But
we are actually pouring sidewalk right now.
Seriously?
Are we? Great.
That's fantastic. So speaking of pouring, walk us through the process of what goes down for a significant stretch of road or a big parking lot. Like, what goes into horizontal construction?
Ooh, that's a broad question right there. Ooh, a lot of the times, honestly, we're out there checking subgrade, we're double checking engineering stakes, we're making sure everything's right, all the utilities, there's quite a bit that goes into it. And I mean, that's just kind of on our end, and we have the easy job. You get our paving foreman and our concrete foreman and even grading foreman out there with all the gravel and kind of making sure that, we have enough trucks to do it. We have enough equipment showing up on time, and it really turns into quite a process. And you start seeing the shop at 7:30 in the morning. It's something that you're going to get out of the way because you see 20 pickups and you see 10 dump trucks and you see a bunch of flatbeds and you see all these people moving, and it's like, where are they going? It's like they got a road to do. It's fun to watch. It really is. So
I got to ask, what's your number one pet peeve of a construction manager? Because Blacktop works on a lot of our Journey projects as a subcontractor. So is there something that sticks out in your mind as a pet peeve?
Ooh. Honestly, I think the biggest one is probably just with scheduling. Journey does a great job scheduling. They use the pull plan. There's a really good idea of when you show up, this is what we need. That's not everywhere. And one of the biggest issues that we have is, recently, especially with our grading and concrete guys, that they show up and it's nowhere ready for them. For me, that's probably the biggest headache because, usually when that happens, I'm the one getting the call going, what happened? We have a lot of processes and to try to prevent that as much as possible, but nothing's even close. It's just, that just really rubs the guys the wrong way because they're like, we could be doing something productive and now they can't.
Mm-hmm. So obviously there's a lot of scheduling, a lot of coordination that goes into making these things happen. One of the cool things that I see you guys do is your morning huddles with the team. Can you talk about what that looks like and kind of the purpose of these daily morning huddles?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, scheduling is probably one of our biggest events during the summer. When you've got 7 crews and you could possibly be at 2 to 3 different jobs each day with the crew. I mean, it's just, that is a big animal. And so the reason for these huddles is to really have, our superintendents communicate schedule with our foreman, kind of the expectation for the day, production-wise, what we want to get done, cover any safety topics that, may have affected us yesterday that we need to know about for today, and really to inform the crews themselves, each individual on the crew, like here's the plan, here's where we're going today, so that everybody's kind of on the same page. It's just a lot of coordination when you've got 50 different pieces of equipment you've got to get to a job site, and you may have to move that in the middle of the day. So it's just to inform and make sure everybody's aware of what they're doing, because there's nothing worse than going out to the job site and nobody knows what's going on. So we try to make sure that our crews are well informed and know what they're doing.
Good. Yeah. So you were kind of talking about this at the beginning before we even started recording. Like, it's my job to make our company look as good as it can, right? That's kind of what marketing does. And we want to highlight the great things about who we are and that sort of thing. But you were saying, it's not all glitz and glamour for sure. And there's some hard days. There's some hot days. What's that like from a leadership perspective, getting your team motivated to keep coming out day in and day out and put in this hard work? How do you guys deal with that from a leadership perspective?
That's a great question. From my perspective, I go out and, I'll watch these things, and, it is tough because I see those guys, they're just dripping sweat, and whether they're shoveling asphalt or standing on the back of the paver, the guys that we have are great, and they really do enjoy that work. It's cool to see. And a lot of these guys, they're physically fit and they don't go to the gym and work out, but I'm telling you, they get a workout in during the day. A lot of these guys love being outside. I mean, they are outside. They have camaraderie with the rest of the group. They enjoy each other, and they're proud of what they do. I know it seems like it's just an asphalt parking lot or a road, but there's things about it to make that smooth that there's a lot of technique and skill that goes into it. Not just anybody can go out and rake asphalt and make it look good. So they're proud of what they do, and they do a great job, and they like that work atmosphere. And so I have a lot of respect for those guys, and they know that. We try to go out and visit them and help them if we can. If I grab a rake, a lot of times they just kind of shake their head, and then they have to come back and fix it, make it look right.
Just creating rework, right?
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's great, and that's what I see out there anyway, and that's what we're trying to achieve, is get those. We want them to enjoy their job. Yeah. It's hot. It's not always easy. So we want them to have the best atmosphere that they can.
Yeah.
So.
And I'd say that carries across to all scopes of work too, not just our asphalt.
Right.
I mean, you have the concrete guys. I mean, they're down on their knees and they're edging, they're finishing, they're doing what they can. And you got our maintenance side that's, putting mastic and crack sealer and the actual melters. And I mean, it's all hot.
Yeah.
It's all not fun, and it's all labor intensive. And it's just crazy that the guys show up and you'll go out and talk to them. And I mean, even Nathan, you go out to the concrete side and all of a sudden you have a camera and they're running like, take a picture of this. It's like, look how good this looks. And I think that sense of pride of work across all of Blacktop is very apparent with all the leaders that we have and a lot of the guys we have. They take pride in what they do and they enjoy doing it, which, for me, it's crazy. I mean, they're awesome what they do, but be dealing with asphalt every day. Yeah, they are very good at what they do. Absolutely.
No, that's such a great point, that hard work isn't necessarily bad.
No.
Hard work is working hard. That can be something that's really fulfilling and enriching if it's what you love to do and what you're good at doing and you're proud of it. Like that's a big deal. And I think that's a unique side of our culture. And when we think about providing more than construction, we've talked a lot in previous episodes about what that means for the community, that, we aren't just building buildings or paving roads or whatever, but enabling quality of life for the communities that we live in and we love. But I think there's also a side of it that we provide more than construction for our employees as well, that this isn't just a construction job for these guys. Like you said, they take pride in their work and enjoy doing this. This is what they do well. This is what they love to do. I think that's a really unique aspect of who we are as well.
I would completely agree, Nate. Like I said, when I go out to these sites and get with the guys, the concrete crews, it's so fun to go out and see them because they know I don't know as much about concrete, so I'll grab a trowel or something. They're like, no, they won't even let me try. They know better. But the other thing is, anytime they greet me, it's a fist pump with every guy out there. So that just really goes to show that, their togetherness and they're a team, and it's really cool. Morning huddles and everything. Yeah. I'll go out to the crack seal crew and see our foreman. He's running up the road with an asphalt router. These things aren't light, and talk about getting a workout in. It's impressive to see these guys do this because would he need to be running with a router up the road? No, but he's that ambitious and he wants to do such a good job that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So really cool to see.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, we are about out of time. So before we wrap up, let's just talk real quick. What's coming down the pipeline for Blacktop Paving looking at this year ahead of us?
Right now, we're still actively bidding a lot of work. Every year we put out, 600, 700 bids, and, we do have some really good work. We have developments with both asphalt, concrete on them, actively pursuing site packages or site work, and we've wrapped up quite a few of those as well. We wrapped up a Yankton trail job for our asphalt and a little bit of concrete repair. So, it's pretty promising. We had some carryover as well. So I think, we're going to have a pretty strong coming into the season. And, the second half of the season, we're always actively looking and trying to acquire work. So, I know we're stealing some field guys right now to run out. Hey, can you go measure this for me real quick? I want to get a number out real fast. And it's, we're right now, I think we're averaging probably about 15 to 20 bids.
Wow.
With our team in the office. So we're shooting for a lot right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would agree. And we are very fortunate in Sioux Falls here. The market's been outstanding. It looks like it's going to remain. We have great customers and relationships with some of these property managers. So really looking forward to just continuing that and even growing that even more. So
exciting things ahead. That's for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining the conversation, sitting in on the show. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. As always, please remember to follow and share this podcast. That helps us and it helps you stay up to date on all the new episodes that come out. Journey Group's mission is to positively impact lives by building community. So thank you again for taking the time with us to explore what it means to do more than construction. Until next time.